got no wings to fly, but their spirit's taking flight. So tonight we'll dance, let's pretend we rule this town. In tomorrow's dawn, I'll be long gone, long gone, long gone. I'll be long gone. I'll be long gone. Don't hold me loose, please grip me tight. My lungs are paper dry from fear of losing sight. Oh, take my palms, we'll build a wall around this town. And tomorrow's dawn, you'll be long gone, long gone, long gone. You'll be long gone. You'll be long gone. I'll be long gone. I'll be long gone. You'll be long gone. You'll be long gone. I'll be long gone.
I got friends in New York City, 'cause everyone I know left town. That's the place your daily dreams go, where you can't see the sun go down. Hold your head up, yo, to begin. Pull me northwood in my car. You don't have to hit the big time, baby. You know who you are. I got friends in LA County, where the hillsides shine like stars, and the people float like gold dust through the Railroad District bar. Hold your head up, your weekend. Pull me westward in my car.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting shortly, in maybe 5 or 6 more minutes from now. While we wait, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know your name and where you're joining from. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tisha, and I will be your moderator in today's webinar. Everyone, welcome to our webinar, Innovation Management, Driving Innovation in Continuous Crisis, proudly hosted by the Indonesia Space and Satellite Industry Association ASI as part of the Indonesia Aerospace Hackathon 2025 agenda. We'd like to extend a warm welcome to the representative of ASI, the chairman of Hackathon 2025, our judges, our top 10 finalist teams, and all the webinar participants joining us today. So, before we begin, we kindly ask for your cooperation for three quick things. So, the first one is please turn on your camera and apply the virtual background provided because we'll be having a photo session shortly. And then the second one is please stay on mute throughout the session to minimize distractions. And third, if you have any questions during the session, feel free to use the Q&A feature. So, to officially open today's session, it is my honor to invite the head of the Youth Incubation and Partnership Bureau, as well as the chairman of Hackathon 2025, Bapak Angga Ristando, to deliver the opening speech. To Bapak Angga, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Mbak Trisha, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our distinguished speaker, Mbak Nia Kurniati, and our sis Nia, long way from Scotland, UK. Thank you so much for allocating your time. All the ASIS committee dari ASI, good afternoon. And then our hackathon committee who has done a very great job. Thank you for coming. And also our honorable top 10 hackathon 2025 who is also coming and joining today. Thank you. And definitely our honorable guest, participant, and audience for our webinar innovation management today. I guarantee that today webinar is definitely something very valuable for every one of us because this is talking about the innovation management. So please do not lose this moment. So everyone, please focus. We are going to learn about how we manage the innovation, not only for us, but also for the society or the community that we are involved in, and the bigger on that, to our nation, Indonesia. And we are lucky today that we have a very great speaker who wants to sharing us about the innovation management. So we learn from the expert, and I believe that from the top 10, this is the time for us to wait and also to witness our top 5 for this year hackathon 2025 that will be announced in the end of the session. As part of ASI member, um, we really appreciate your energy that you radiate to us to show how you want to volunteering yourself to bring a better innovation to Indonesia with the space technology concern. Do you know that this is very difficult for all the committees to select to the top 10 and then from top 10 to top 5? So whoever going or entering to the next step or who are not going to the next step, you are still the best. Don't lose your hope. Please keep up for more and more innovative and innovation, at least to you and also to the nations. Once again, I hope you enjoy the moment and also the webinar today. And see you and looking forward to have the innovation impact that you are doing for the nations. Back to host. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Paanga, for the insightful welcome. Now, before we proceed to the presentation, we'd like to take a quick photo together. Please kindly turn on your camera, and our team will take a few snapshots. Okay. There's still a lot of people who haven't turned on their camera. We kindly ask everyone to please open your camera. Okay. Okay, everyone who hasn't activated their camera yet, we will wait for you for the next 2 minutes. All right, I see that everyone has turned on their camera now. So let's proceed with the photo session. Everyone, as this is ASIS event, we kindly ask everyone to follow it with the ASIS signature pose. So you put your hands like this. Okay. Okay, we're gonna take the picture now in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Now you can take you can give us your best pose, maybe your own signature pose. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you. Please keep your camera open for the rest of the session as well. All right, now let's get started. Let me introduce today's webinar first. So in today's session, we will explore how both organizations and individuals can continue to innovate, adapt, and lead in the face of uncertainty, a timely theme as we navigate an increasingly volatile world. So now, allow me to introduce our distinguished speaker. All right, so our speaker for today is Mbak Nia Kurniati Bachtiar. She is a PhD candidate at the Adam Smith Business School, University of Glasgow. So she has a strong academic foundation and professional expertise in innovation and management, and her research focuses on organizational resilience and innovation, and its role to lead companies to thrive and prosper in times of crisis. So Mbania has managed to combine her academic journey with extensive experience as a lecturer, mentor, and business analyst. She has a proven track record of translating complex research into actionable insights, making her a valuable contributor to academic and professional discussions. So, Mbanya is also an entrepreneur by both passion and practice, and she's currently a business analyst to a London based startup, Tidyat, and also in the process of launching a research based business in Glasgow, further bridging the gap between academic theories and real world applications. Okay, everyone, please give a warm virtual welcome to Mbak Nia Kurniati Bachtiar. Hello, Mbak Nia.
Hello, Trisha. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Mbak Nia?
I'm excellent, of course. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Nice, Mbak Nia. So now the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you, Trisha. Let me share my screens for now. Okay. It's supposed to be this. Okay, can you see my screen now? I'm not really sure.
Yes, Mbak, it's visible.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for having me today. Good morning, UK times, and then good afternoon, I think, in Indonesia time. I would like to say thank you so much for everyone for coming, especially for today, and also for inviting me, especially for Mas Angga, Trisha, Cindy, Irfan, and the others committee that have been so nice to me to give me that opportunity, of course. And Alhamdulillah, we still have the ability and also capability to be here today, and also waiting for the decisions in the end of the sessions. But before I start, teman-teman semua, I would like to say another thank you as well. So I will tell you a little bit story before I continue to my sessions and my slides. So I was in the middle of applying for the mobility. The mobility in my campus, we have the chance to go to other part of the world, any part that you want to go, and then we can apply for the grant. In my research, based on my research, of course, my research location, I should apply in two countries that are really interesting to, which is Finland and also France. However, I've got the Finland one. So I managed to secure the invitation letter for Turku University in Finland because I met the professor several times in conference. However, I didn't have chance. The professor in France didn't reply to my email. 1 or 2 weeks after my email, and then long story short, I've got the poster from Cindy. Okay, the poster for this event, and then I said to Cindy, can I upload it in my Instagram? When I upload it, and then suddenly I have a notifications that the professor that I reached to, which was my lectures in my previous university in Birmingham, we follow each other in Instagram. She put a like in my post, and then after that, I received an email from her that, okay, Nia, you can come to our university. We welcome you. How long do you want to go? And then we will make you the invitation letter. What I want to say here is thank you so much for all the committees for this event, that because of this event, I've got noticed by my supervisor and then get invitation letter. So I actually more grateful than you think. Okay, so let's continue. Oh, it's so sorry, it's so bright here. Okay, everyone, teman-teman semua, teman-teman yang masuk ke final hackathons, welcome to this session. So before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Nia Kurniati Bachtiar. I'm a PhD researcher. I'm also an entrepreneur, as Teresa said, a lecturer, and also a business analyst now. Thank you so much. My education, I started in Indonesia, of course. I came from Indonesia, in Makassar to be specific, in Universitas Hasanuddin Makassar, Indonesia, in management studies. Why I chose management? Most likely because at that time I didn't even think that I didn't even feel to continue my study. I just want to work after a senior high school. So I attend to this university just because my parents asked me, and also most likely because most of my friends continue to university. So it's just like a fear of missing out, like it's just like FOMO condition at that time for me. And then after that, I attended my bachelor degree, and also I still working. I didn't want to resign from my work. 2 years like that, and then after that my parents said, stop, you can't work because you need to finish your study. And I say, okay, I want to finish my study unless I can attend or I can sign up to another course. So I signed up in another university. It's Charisma College in Indonesia, in Makassar as well at that time, in information system management. So I've got my bachelor from there, and Alhamdulillah, I got LPDP scholarship to go to attend University of Birmingham for my master degree. In this time, I took entrepreneurship, which is my really focus and my really passions. And graduating from that, I returned back to Indonesia, still running my business, of course, but at the same time, because my parents asked me to be a lecturer, so I, of course, applied to be a lecturer in Indonesia. And Alhamdulillah, again, another chance coming and getting LPDP scholarships in University of Glasgow, as well in the UK, but another part of the UK in 2022. And then here I am now in my third year. Please wish me luck. Next year will be my writing up year, so wish me all the best, please. A little bit about experience. As I can tell you, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Since I was a little, I conducted a lot of businesses, but I think the first biggest one was when I was in college. I think in my bachelor degree. We had at that time the book cafe for our target market was senior high, also college students. And then 2018 until now, I was a lecturer in management, specifically focused in entrepreneurship and innovation in Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang, Indonesia. And then I also teaching here as a teaching assistant and also research assistant in the University of Glasgow since 2023. And last year when I was doing my research and then a study and everything, I've got offered to be business analyst in Tidy Up in UK as well. So that's a little bit about me. Maybe I will start just like to show you this one. This is my favorite pictures. I show these pictures every time I do my presentation in campus, out of campus, in every seminar or webinar that I attended. Why I put this one is just to show you, if you can see, this last decade only, everyone, us, people, world, everyone, we have been experienced multiple global crises. It's a very regular one. Just as you can see here, when we experienced the global financial crisis, it's 28. I don't know how old were you at that time, but I was in my school year at that time. We experienced another global crisis like Brexit, and then we have COVID-19, we have Ukrainian and also Russian war, and we have Gaza Strip, of course, and the last one, a very big one, is the Trump crisis and the trade war crisis. So what I want to say that everyone, if you want to start establishing your business after you finish your college, or when you want to establish business right now, in the near future, you have to realize that crisis is always around, crisis is always present, is always continuous. So whatever you do in your business, whatever strategy you do in your business, or whatever innovation you do, you have to relate it to the crisis. So this is, I just want to give you a little bit glimpse what happened to the world, to our country, to our nations every time crisis hit. As you can see, all the words facing the falling growth every time the crisis hit. If you can see here in 2021, also in 2029, when the global financial crisis, the COVID-19 Ukrainian war, we go declined. However, people always think about crisis as a negative one. So crisis bring us, for example, disrupted operations. So whatever become normal, used to be normal, become disrupted. The revenue decline, the demand decline, cash flow constraint, everything's negative. We got stressed, we got burned out. Not only us, not only the owner, us as the owner, but our employee also gets stressed. And this all relate to the closure of the business. We all experience how when the COVID coming, most of the business, especially the new business, the startup business and the micro small business closed down and bankrupt at that time. So that's why if we're talking about business if we are talking about crisis in business context, you always think that it's a negative one. So you unconsciously think that, no, I don't want to have a crisis. However, this is the reality. The fact that we are facing that crisis is always around. Okay, what happened at the time of crisis? I make it in Indonesia. I'm so sorry. I should have made it in English for this one. There are 8 things happened in the time of crisis. For example, supply and demand, the closure of the business, the creativity. So I would like to invite all of you here. Can you please help me to write in the chat which point do you think happened in the time of the crisis? For example, if you think A, B, C happened in the time of the crisis, please write it in the chat, and then I just want to see like that. Okay, let me repeat it again, slower this time. So this the point that happened in the time of the crisis. So please help me to write it down in the chat. Thank you so much for the one who has already typing. Please help me to write, what do you think happened in the time of the crisis? Is it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or H? Which one do you think happened in the time of the crisis? You can just write at the point. You don't need to write the explanation. Just write it down. A or B or C or D or anything else. F, indeed, I agree. B, C, and G, thank you. C, F, G, yes. A, E, F, E, F. Yeah, we have quite a lot. F, A, B, indeed. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, everyone. So what happened at the time of crisis? Indeed, A, yes. B, yes. What else? What's the other answer? F, stressed, yes. What's another answer? G, yes, uncertainty. And then what another answer? And then F, okay. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. That's what happened at the time of the crisis. How about if I ask you, what do you think among these 8 is not gonna happen in the time of crisis? Is there anything that is not gonna happen? It's different with the previous questions. E is not gonna happen with, what is E? Innovations? It's not gonna, okay. decline or the hinder of innovation is not going to happen. Okay, thank you. C, creativity is not going to happen. Income not going to happen. Yeah. What else? And then, indeed, maybe the creativity is not going to happen. So what I want to say to every one of you is from this today webinar, I will let you know that in the time of the crisis, all of these 8 points will definitely be happened. This webinar aims to tell you that we want to see crisis in a positive way. Yes, indeed, we're getting a disruptive in income, in creativity, in innovation, in uncertainty. However, I will let you know that after this webinar, you will know that crisis is actually positive. It has negative in a short, but mostly positive. Okay. Continuous crisis is not a myth. It's happening. However, let's do it in positive way. Indeed, continuous crisis bring you all the negative thing. However, in other side, continuous crisis also give you creativity, give you innovation, give you opportunity, give you new product development, give you flexibility and everything. Now the problem. When crisis give us all of this, why we always see company close down or bankrupt in the time of the crisis, right? If we have these all positive things here, why we always see many declining growth? There is a gap there. There is something missing that we have to fill in by all of you as the youngsters in Indonesia, all of us as the youngsters for Indonesia. So I'm going to tell you, giving you how to put that gap by telling you the story of several companies across the world. Okay, now we are going to start with the company located and established in the US. Okay, this is IBM. I know you know IBM. Started in 1911 and then in 1924 it's changing its names to IBM. So we can see IBM crashed, then rebooted, and then come back. What happened to IBM? So in 1990s, when the IBM became the first and the leading of the technology company in the world at that time, the internet bubble happened. And there are a lot of demand coming to the market. However, IBM couldn't cover all the demand. What happened? Apple established the PC. Epson coming as well to the market. Massive competitors. And then plus that time, IBM actually partnered with Microsoft. However, Microsoft decided to launch Windows and leave the collaborations between IBM and Microsoft, leading IBM to negative income. And then it's not finished until that. In 2000, it goes financial crisis. IBM just like going to the rock bottom, almost closure in 2000. And then now it's also have a lot of crisis with the cloud computing, especially with the new competitors. What happened with IBM till now? They're still like sustain and even grow during this all continuous crisis. They adapt very fast. They focus to the high margin business unit. Instead of focusing to a lot of diversification, it focused to one business unit. But what we can learn from IBM that survived the continuous crisis is crisis means to IBM is the continuous fast adaptations. They were broken down when Microsoft left them. They were almost bankrupt where there are a lot of new competitors with the new innovations come, but they adapt very fast. That's why from 1911 to 2025, more than 100 years, IBM still survive. My next example company that we can learn if we are talking about innovation in continuous crisis is the application that all of us use most of every day. I use it every day, every night actually for my streaming. For this, I'm going to play you a YouTube video. Hopefully you can see. 1 minute. Trisha, can you confirm whether
Founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph,
Yes.
began as a DVD by mail service
Yes,
inspired by Hastings' frustration with
you?
We
Let
can
me.
hear the audio.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. It's a 1 minute video about Netflix. A little bit reminder how Netflix started. But tell us a lot how Netflix survived until now. Let's watch it together.
Netflix. Founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph, began as a DVD by mail service inspired by Hastings' frustration with late fees. Initially struggling, Netflix revolutionized its business model in 1999 by introducing a subscription-based service, offering unlimited DVD rentals without late fees. This model improved customer retention and set the stage for future innovations. In 2007, Netflix launched its streaming service, Watch Now, marking a pivotal shift towards digital content delivery. Partnerships with hardware platforms like Roku, Xbox, and PlayStation expanded Netflix's accessibility, while a major database corruption incident in 2008 spurred the company's migration to cloud hosting, enhancing scalability and reliability. A significant content licensing deal with Starz in 2008 provided Netflix with a diverse library, bolstering its streaming service. The launch of original programming in 2013, beginning with House of Cards, marked another major milestone, establishing Netflix as a leading content creator. Netflix continued to innovate with its sophisticated content recommendation system, enhancing user experience and retention. By 2016, Netflix had expanded its streaming service to 190 countries, becoming a global entertainment powerhouse. Today, Netflix stands as a testament to visionary leadership and strategic innovation in the evolving landscape of video streaming.
Hey. Wait. Okay. Trisha, can you see my screen?
Yes, it's visible, Matt.
Okay, thank you. Netflix, everyone. So our second example, how company can still innovate in the continuous crisis. I took Netflix. Why? Because there's one thing that stand out a part of all the innovation conducted by Netflix, which is, if you can see, since 1997, when it's first established, Netflix actually coming into the market, which have a market leader which already operated in most of the world, which is Blockbuster. When I was a little, we always go to to the DVD rental, and then we rented the DVD, we rent the CD, VCD as well, and then we brought it home. Netflix came when we are all so comfortable using DVD. It must be very difficult. I mean, to be the new entrance in the one single big competitors. However, Netflix doing it very well by doing continuous collaborations. So as you can see in the video as well, that throughout the time, Netflix always have collaborators. Even nowadays, the content creator itself being their collaborators. What I want to say is, when you want to innovate in continuous crisis, a part of you adapt fast learning from IBM, you also cannot stand alone. So everyone here, if you want to start your business, just remember, we can't start by our own. We always need collaborator. The first collaborator coming from our team. In all my business, we have a very small team, the team who have the same missions, the same visions that we working together. So from that small small team, your collaborator, it will be expanded to other teams as well, and also expanded to another collaborator that show you that this company, your company, that actually can grow even though we have a lot of disruptions in the world. That's my next example. That's our second learn from the other companies in the world. After the US, let's go a little bit, move our journey to the company in Indonesia. Your favorite, my favorite, I think everyone favorite, Kopi Kenangan. I don't know. I think you know you will like another brand of the coffee as well. However, Kopi Kenangan can give us a very valuable insight and learned and lesson that we actually missed it in Indonesia. However, in that time, it has been a very good way of innovate, way to grow the business in Europe, UK, and another part of the world. And then Kopi Kenangan is the first brand in Indonesia that doing this. As the first mover, as the first company who start this innovation strategy, it's of course catch the attention of all the customers, making it big for the very short time, and now become, if I'm not mistaken, the first new retail F&B unicorn in Southeast Asia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the new retail, yes, correct. What happened? What did Kopi Kenangan do? What did Kopi Kenangan have that differ them to another retail coffee business in Indonesia? Everyone, if you would like to writing a little bit in your chat, what do you think make Kopi Kenangan different with another coffee brand in Indonesia? Any short answer? Is it because of the price? Is it because of the packaging or something? Any idea? Variant type of the coffee. I think Tuku also have the variant type of the coffee, but indeed that's one. What else? Anything else do you think make Kopi Kenangan is actually stand out or catch your attention? Indeed. The answer is very simple, everyone. A part of the taste. Indeed. The wording, the name of the product, as I can show you here, it's maybe easy for us. It doesn't carry any value. It doesn't mean special for us. However, the name of the product is only one first step they do have, right? The one thing that actually coming from the brand is the storytelling. Kopi Kenangan use storytelling, customer experience as their main stand out value propositions or competitive advantage that make them different with another brand in Indonesia at that time. Okay, now we have a lot of type of the brand that using almost the same term, almost the same style with Kopi Kenangan. However, one type of innovation strategy that you can use in continuous crisis is looking at your customers. Looking what do you think customers, you can touch their heart. And that, the answer is experience. That's past experience that's really attached to the customer, which is, coming back, most likely is their love life. And this is what Kopi Kenangan very smart to take the love life of the customer, become the part of their main innovation strategy. And this storytelling keep running. And then if I can ask you, you came to Kopi Kenangan, the first time you came to Kopi Kenangan, for sure, you're coming because you want to taste Kopi Kenangan Mantan. So how is your ex? How does the coffee feel? I'm so sorry. This is so funny. How to drink coffee with associate your experience, your love life with your ex. This is maybe simple in our mind, however, this is catching the attentions and making Kopi Kenangan especially become this big until now. In the left side, if you can see, this is a very early, recent Instagram post I took as well again. Still taking your experience to be their strategy. So storytelling is very important. If you want to start a business, if you can see all the new businesses now in Indonesia, I maybe give an example. Another business my friend established in Indonesia is a social enterprises, when she actually carries the story of the people in the village, and then taking that story become a product and then represent them. So that's how the storytelling running. A very nice storytelling can give you like a click or a match to the customer's heart. After going to Indonesia, we go to another part of the world, teman-teman. Ini the most famous one now. We're going to China. Alibaba Group. Everyone knows this. I think, I'm not really sure. Do we have Alibaba apps marketplace in Indonesia now? Not yet, right? Or do we? Fast expansion. The product name reminds me to your ex. Yes, that's why that's my first reason why I drank Kopi Kenangan at that time, because because it catching the attentions. And then how about Alibaba? Alibaba Group, first established in 1999, and that time most of you still very little, I believe. It was internet bubbles when everyone is actually starting using internet for the first time. Alibaba catch this opportunity. What happened now? Alibaba has a massive group under their umbrella. They have Fresh Hippo, they have AliExpress, they have Lazada. Oh yeah, I remember Lazada. We have Lazada in Indonesia, and they have Alibaba Cloud, the recent one, Alipay, and then we also have customer to customer Taobao. What we can learn from Alibaba innovations in continuous crisis, and then bear in your mind that Alibaba is a global company. It means the crisis is much bigger than the crisis that we experience as a local business. The next lesson that we can learn to innovate in the continuous crisis is the company culture itself. It means it will be start with all of you, all of us here in the Zoom meeting room when we start a business. So when you want to keep innovate in continuous crisis, it always come for you yourself, starting the culture, sharing the culture to your team if you have a small team in the beginning, and then sharing those culture as well to all the employee in your company. The culture in Alibaba is so straightforward. Customer come first, employee come second, shareholder come third. That's their culture. So whatever they do, if you see in Alibaba they have extremely cheap price, it means because they want to catch what customer needs, cheaper product, right? And then they also adapt very fast, same as IBM as well. And this one, another company culture that we can learn from Alibaba is why do they have so many part or diversification business, a lot of small company under the Alibaba group? That's because Alibaba do the continuous improvement. So every time they have the idea from the team or from the employee, they will directly, yeah, in the fast or quickly way, try to do the research and also try to test the idea to see whether this idea can be pursued. If there is a small possibility this idea can be pursued, they will pursue it. and then they come with another business idea, pursue it, and then started to run it, and then with a very small team. Do you maybe remember several months ago, there's a very huge news in the internet when China actually launched DeepSeek, another ChatGPT. So we know in ChatGPT they said, okay, we use a massive number of the people, we use 100 company, and suddenly China comes and say, no, we only have a small team in DeepSeek, and see the DeepSeek start. That's company cultures in China that we can actually copy in Indonesia in our business as well. That it doesn't need to have bigger or a lot of team member. You can pursue something with a small team member as long as you have the culture of innovation, you have the culture of customer centrics, and you have the culture of innovations. That's why Alibaba still running until now, and in spite of all the crises that they have in the world. We've been to the US, we've been to Indonesia, we've been to China, and then now let's swivel a little bit to the company in Sweden. And of course, we also have this in Indonesia, right? IKEA, a very sophisticated furniture, if I can say, for the youngsters, Gen Z, and also even us as millennials. IKEA's actually established since, let me remember. IKEA established 2 years before our Independence Day. It's in 1943. At that time, IKEA focusing in a simple furniture, and then also quite not expensive, quite cheaper price, and also it's knocked down. If in Indonesia we have Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. When I was a little, I have Olympics in all over my room, my bed, my cupboard, my desk, or Olympic. However, IKEA experienced almost bankruptcy. Wait, okay. Almost bankruptcy time several times. Until in 1990s, they decided that, okay, let's look far in the future and see what do you think will happen to need in the future. So since 1990s, and that time we didn't think about it, IKEA have started to develop sustainability strategy. And then finally in early 2000, they launched their first product that focused to sustainable product. So this rattan furniture come, another recycling product appear. And then now we recognize, or now we know IKEA as a sustainable product, a furniture product. What do we can learn from here, teman-teman? If you want to start your business, you have to know, especially if you want to start the business like in global business, if you want to start export business, you have to know that in all of the country, most of the country in the world, putting sustainability as one of their requirement if you want to do the export. For example, we have this one. I know this person's in around my city in Indonesia, around Magelang. They also produce rattan-based product, which is a very, what can I say? It's not only eye-catching. However, it's actually like intriguing to the customers in the in the Europe, especially because she focused the European market, and then it's coming from recycling product and also with the cheaper price and but high quality. When the European companies especially are focusing in sustainability, it means that when you want to try or start your business in export business to those countries, you have to make sure that you have these sustainability products or service. It means that innovations, sustainability can be one of your innovation strategy if you want to still grow in this crisis time. Sustainability is not only the product, your service also can be sustainable. So it's a part of service and product. And then we have another, sorry, I think I spent too much time here. I have to be a little bit faster. I have two others company that can become our example. So after we go to Sweden, now we fly back to where I belong, no, where I live now. Somorostech, the company in Scotland, not company, is an institution in Scotland. So everyone, I'm gonna use this chance as well to invite you to Scotland. Almost like Indonesian, it's a very beautiful place, full of heritage, as you can see here. This is Somorostech in the middle. This is my research object right now in my PhD. So I study about them a lot. And this is the locations, a very beautiful one. And then this is only one of the locations in Scotland. You have a lot of beautiful ones. So if you have a chance to either tourism or study or work, please come to Scotland. But what I want to say is Somorostech have been established in 1973, showing their innovations and showing their survival during this time in continuous crisis by using this. What do you think are that? Can you write a little bit in the chat? What do you think is that? What do you think Somorostech strategy? If you can see the pictures. Culture? Nice. What else? Almost correct. Yes, culture is a very strong one. But there is one other thing. What do you think? This is what make them survive until now. And these are the basis of their innovations in Somorostech. I agree. Culture is the first. They sell the cultures to the people, but most likely what make them survive until now is the community itself. So when you are confused in which part that we can do the innovations, and then we are lacking of financial or money, if I can say, community is where you can innovate. Why do I say that? Somorostech always have a very nice and strong community engagement where the innovation sometimes coming from the community and the innovation is for the community. Let me give you the example. Somorostech used to be only the institution where you learned Gaelic language. It's an old Scottish language. However, from the community they learned that Gaelic language is not about language, but also about the music, about the heritage, about the culture, like you said. And they open new courses. They open a music course in the institutions because they see in the community there's a huge interest about the Gaelic music. So go to your community, guys. Go to surround your neighborhood. What do they need? What do they have? And you can innovate from there. That's another innovation strategy. And the last innovation strategy that I can share to you in continuous crisis, and which is also my favorite one because this is my research focus when in my PhD, I'm giving you the example of SpaceX. I know you know this. I even know you know this better than me. I still remember I was in Birmingham at that time when the Falcon, they released the Falcon and then it's explodes in the thin air. It was a huge sadness for some people. For us, it's a shock as well because we are waiting that to launch the satellite to launch, but it failed. However, what we can learn from SpaceX. SpaceX, as you know, is a satellite company. When is it established? 2002, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's in 2002, I think. They encounter a lot of problem, even bigger problem with the 6 company that I have mentioned you. Why I said it's biggest problem? Because satellite itself required a lot of money, not a lot, but a lot of money, massive amount of money. And then just imagine when it's in 2002, after it established, when Falcon 1 start to launch, it failed. Falcon 2 launch, it failed. Falcon 3 launch, it failed. And it costs like billion US dollar every time it launch. So they just like almost closed down at that time, even before 5 years. More likely after that, people, another business becomes so skeptic with, do we need this company? You spend a lot of money, but you always failed. And then they swift, not they swift, yeah, I can say swift, yeah, but it's not that swift. They change the engineering team strategy, become more lean and more agile to make it less cost. So they try to reduce the cost. They use also reusable materials at that time until they got the funding from NASA and they can fly another Falcon. And then finally, is it Falcon 9, if I'm not mistaken, that's finally success to launch to the orbit. Another example of the product they have, if I'm not mistaken, we know it a lot during the Ukraine and the Russian war, was the Starlink. And again, the commercialization of Starlink is still questionable. What we can learn from SpaceX is actually, when you innovate in continuous crisis, you need this one. Resilience. Being resilient. Every time people say you're failed and you still believe in yourself, that you can still do something else. You can still push yourself forward. You can still like trying to build something out of your mind, from your dream, of course. Resilience is one important thing in innovation in continuous crisis. That's why my topic actually in my PhD is about resilience and innovations in continuous crisis. So thank you so much. So this is exactly what I am studying now. So how do we drive innovation in continuous crisis? We know here we have all this, what crisis bring us. Crisis bring us opportunity, crisis bring us creativity, crisis bring us possibility, but we want to grow in terms of all of these challenges we have. How to grow? Of course, we can grow in continuous crisis. We can still pursue that innovation in continuous crisis by using the 7 strategies that we have already discussed previously, from fast adaptation, storytelling, collaborations, company culture, sustainability, community, and resilience. So Innovations starting by using those 7 elements together. So is that enough? However, innovate in continuous crisis is more complex, teman-teman. It's just not like, bam, you have a product and then you sell it to the Instagram or using your social media and then go. Or you establish new algorithm, for example, become a new device and then you sell it. No, it is more complicated than that. If you have these 7 strategy in mind and then you have the order how to use it, now that innovation come. However, it's not only innovations. Innovation is very broad. We have open innovation, we have collaborative innovation, incremental innovation, also transformational innovation. You, us, as the owner of the business, we need to choose what kind of innovation we want to do. Not the same at the same time, but maybe you can make it in order. So in this time, for example, I have quite short in income, but I have a very good team, and then we have a good network. Maybe we can do collaborative innovation in that time. That's what Netflix do, right? Okay, now we run. We need to find another another innovations, but we're stuck in idea. We need to know what happened in the field, in the market. What do they need? What do people need? What do customers need? Okay, let's do open innovations. Okay, and now so what I want to say is innovations is actually just like this. This is one of my research as well, several years back. And this is the curve that I want to show you. So if you want to innovate, whatever is that, either you build an application, you make a marketplace, for example, a new marketplace, you create a new product. Your product have the life cycle, teman-teman. So when you start with here, you start launching your product, and then your product go up because of the demand. The product will be reaching the end or the finish line. So when the product almost reached the finish line, that's the sign that you have to launch another product. That's if we return here, if you do one innovation and that innovation product have launched and you have sell it in the market, you need to think what another innovation you have to do, and you launch another product. This happened to all 7 companies that I have shown you why they still innovate in continuous crisis. Because when they have one product and they are directly thinking about what other product we have to launch after this. So that's always happening. And then they also do it, all innovation, not in the same time. For example, I give the example of the micro business. They do collaborative innovation first, and then inclusive innovation and incremental innovations. Then they go with this S-curve of innovation. So this is the type of innovation I think you all know, and then I have already talked about. But my focus here is the takeaways. What is our takeaways from this beautiful morning time discussions? What I want to say, teman-teman, adalah crisis is different with continuous crisis. Crisis maybe means that one single event, for example, COVID-19, and then that finish. Financial crisis in 2008 and then finish. Brexit in the UK 2017 and finish. However, continuous crisis means that the crisis is always come. The crisis is regularly. So in the business, we have this mindset that crisis is always coming. Yeah. If we are talking to the business owner, they always have this mindset that crisis is always coming. So that's why our innovations and our strategy always related to continuous crisis. Continuous crisis means increase of complexity. The complexity in the world is increasing. It needs more innovative, more fast adaptation, more resilience. The second one, if you want to start your business, stop thinking that crisis is only negative. You don't need to resist of the crisis. I remember in the COVID-19, my business as well at that time, we closed for a couple weeks, months. I forgot. Many of the business closed down, and they said it's okay to close down, by the way. However, the one thing that's not okay is when your mindset telling you that, okay, I will close down and I will open when it's normal. The question now, when is normal? Is it now, today, tomorrow? We never know. We actually never know when is the normal time when the crisis is always coming. So what do I want to say? Do not resist. Do not be resistant that a crisis is only negative. Crisis will pass. No. Crisis is always around, and crisis bring positive as well. That's what we always put in our mind. If we put that in our mind, it means that you will come up with the strategy, with the innovations that actually can face all of those conditions. The third takeaway that I can tell you that when we drive the innovation in continuous crisis, you can do these 7 ways. You can do these 7 elements all together at the same time. In order, it's up to you. Most important one, the fast adaptations. And then you go, if your lack of resource, your lack of a financial, for example, collaboration will be a very good opening door. Storytelling, gain people, attract people, experience, and making it into your product or service. Create a company culture that us as a leader, we have to start this company culture, and then we share it to our team and we share it to our employee. Sustainability, people, profit, planet is always on the top of our mind, that whatever we do it for the future of the generations. We do it for the future of the planets, and also, of course, for the future of our profitable business. And the next one, community and heritage. Return to your community if you are running out of idea, or if you want to give back for your community, and they will give back to you for sure. This is for sure. And then looking at your heritage. Our heritage is our uniqueness that we can sell globally. That's what happened in Somorrow's Tech. They sell the Scotland culture globally. And the last one, wrap up all these 7 ways, is being resilient. Not only fast adaptation, resilience means that you never give up. You always agile. You always being positive, and you always being flexible. And my last takeaway is, I can say, innovation is very broad, teman-teman. There's open innovation, like I told you. There's a collaborative innovation, incremental innovation, transformative innovations. What else? Inclusive innovations. There are a lot of innovation types that we can pursue if we want to develop an innovation in our business. Don't go too broad. Don't take all type of innovation at the same time, but specific. Choose one of the innovation that you want to do, and you stick to it. Launch the product, launch the service, seeing the demand. When the demand height reaching its peak, when the demand reaching its peak here, be ready. You have to find another innovations. Don't wait until the product reaching its aim because it's too late already. Find another innovations when your previous product reaching its peak. So that's how you make sure that the cycle of the product and the business still running. Okay, that's I think the takeaways from me for today as well. And then yep, that's all for me. So that's my email, everyone. If you want to contact and asking questions or just connect, or my LinkedIn or Instagram. So I think that's all for me, and then I can just return back to Trisha. Trisha, the mic is yours, please.
Thank you, Benya. Thank you so much for the insightful and inspiring stories. So, if I may briefly recap some key takeaways from your presentation, one important point to remember is that crisis is always around us, but instead of fearing it, we can leverage it to create opportunities. Okay, now we will open the Q&A session. If you haven't submitted your questions yet, feel free to drop them in the chat or Q&A box. But also, please feel free to use the raise hand feature so that we can give you the opportunity to ask directly to Mbak Nia. Okay, maybe we can start with the direct questions first. Please use the raise hand feature if you want to directly ask to our speaker. Okay. While we wait for anyone who wanted to ask directly, we also have some questions here in the Q&A box. Maybe we can also start from here. So the first question, Banya, why do you think fast adaptation is critical for innovation during continuous crisis? Can you give an example from your point of view?
I will give, thank you, Trisha. I will give example for, I think, Korean respond to COVID-19 at that time, yeah? So why is so important? We experience in the business, in the conventional business, that when we want to decide something or we want to start something, it needs a long bureaucracy. So from the idea, giving to the board, giving to manager, giving to blah, 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 blah. And it takes time. And what happened after that? First, the idea missing the moment. And the second, it's not relate anymore. And that's what Korean at that time, South Korean didn't do. So in the COVID-19, what they do, they didn't take 1 or 2 days to give the decisions of lockdown at that time. They just go in slash and then everything should be locked down. And if you remember, us Indonesia doing on contrary. We need several times and several discussion and several a feedback first before we do the finally lockdown. What do I want to say is the successful of Korean, South Korean handle COVID-19 at the time is higher than us because they have a very fast adaptations and decisions. And that's happened in the business as well. If you see what happened, for example, the shifting in the market, don't wait until all the people doing it. Pursue it directly, try it directly. There is a chance of the failure, of course. However, fail is much better than you're not trying it at all. So the fast adaptation is a very crucial, the crucial first step if you're talking about innovations, because you don't want to lose the moment. You don't want your product become insignificant anymore. That's my answer, Trisha.
Thank you, Mbak Nia. Now we have another question coming from the chat from the Mantara Labs, Muhammad Sakif Muhayyad. Can SpaceX survival be attributed more to strategic resilience or fortunate timing, such as the NASA COTS award?
Okay, good questions. Thank you so much. So we have this space company also in Scotland. It's called Orbex. Okay, so I fortunately know this because I interviewed Orbex last year, and then I learned a lot about SpaceX as well, this spaceship company, while interview them. So NASA actually give, or if I can use here in the European, we call it European Spaceship Agency. They have the funding, they have the awards, and that funding, that awards always coming almost every year. However, they don't use or they don't spend it to regular companies, regular spaceship company. SpaceX at that time have been trying to secure NASA grant several times, but they didn't get it. Why they didn't get it? That's because the Falcon 1, 2, 3 failed. All of them exploded. So yes, indeed, NASA funding give a very huge fortune to SpaceX. The same thing with Orbex in Scotland. European Spaceship Agency give a fortune financial support to them. However, before they secure the grant, they've already show their value of the business. They already show that this is me, this is us, this is we are trying to do much bigger than our failure. And that's what they showed to NASA before they got the grant. The timing, indeed, I agree. For example, Astra something, the COVID-19, what do you call serum? No, the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccines, right?
Sinovac.
Yes, Sinovac, yeah. That's also due to the timing. The timing is very important. For example, just use this Zoom. Zoom is established far before COVID-19, but it got the timing where the COVIDs appear. Same as the SpaceX. The timing is coming also from NASA. Orbex also get the timing from European Space Agency. However, it started far before the company show what it's worth. So we need show our worth by showing our resilience during all the failure that we experience, and then the timing will come, and then we got the grant. Yes, indeed. I agree. In some point, timing is also helping, but it started with the resilience of the company. So not or, I think it's and strategic resilience and the timing. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mania. On to the next question from Fauzan. What business innovations can be carried out in a society that is mostly poor?
I like that. Indeed. Thank you, Fauzan. I like this question. Why? Because we actually implement this a lot in Indonesia, especially in rural business, in rural area. So where I come from, have quite a lot of rural place. And my parents now living in Papua. As you know, we have quite a lot of rural as well in Papua. And we start to think, this is starting when I was in master degree with small teams. We think that we agree innovation require a lot of money. We agree that. We also agree that these poor locations need to be helped. They need help as well. The good thing is there is kind of innovations that actually can be implemented in the poor location or poor society. I will give you the example. We call it as social innovations. Okay, Social innovations mean that the innovations for the people, taking the 1P from the sustainability, which is people, that actually we combine between collaborative innovations, open innovations, and then this people innovation, and we form it into the social innovation. It means that instead, in spite of lacking of the money, we have to find something that actually competitive advantage in that area. Let me explain with the example. We have this one very small village in Magelang. They are quite poor. If they have 500,000 in the month, they are included as a rich already. It means that their living allowance is very low. However, they have this ability to make a rattan-based furniture. So they make the rattan chair, the rattan desk, table, and everything. And then it's come up. Okay, so they actually have something that the problem is they don't know how this valuable, the something they have is valuable. That's where the team, us, you, all of us here, this is what we have to do. So we have to become their hub. We have to become the person who connect these poor people with what they can do with these global markets. Export, for example, export market, and then, or for example, national-based company. We become the hub. They are poor, but whatever is that, teman-teman, ask them. They must have something that we don't have, that we can dig deeper and then we can sell to a broad market. And that's our job, all of us job as a innovator. We have to help them.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Nia. Next will be a question from Mas Angga.
Okay, thank you, Trisha. So hopefully after my questions, there are another people who would like to asking the questions directly to Mbak Nia. So Mbak Nia, my question is quite related with what Fauzan is asking, but in the corporate level, Mbak Nia. Yeah, totally agree. And also thinking that innovation is something that related to the cost, right? Yeah, if we are doing something with the cost, especially from the financial team, will asking us, what is this? What is this action? What is this program? And how this money is coming back again? This is actually something that sometimes innovation is not directly related to the profit, right? Yeah, sometimes it takes time, it takes effort so much, but that's the thing that we have to convince, especially with our financial teams. Sometimes when we are not make them confident with our program, then our program will be rejected by them. In the corporate level, can you please suggest us what is the strategy, how we can build this innovation ecosystem in the corporate level, so that for all the people who wants to make or create the innovation, they will getting support from the company. Yeah. So I think that's the questions, and I do believe that it might be a million questions for all the corporate company and employees. Thank you, Bania.
Thank you, Mas Angga. I really can relate to the questions actually, because as Trisha mentioned before, I'm a business analyst in one of the startup in the UK right now, and we have that problem. And then what I can say is that's the important thing, that us, all the innovators here, it's either we have business knowledge, a part of our innovations knowledge, or we have business people in the team. That's what Tidy Up do. So both of the founders, they are all the first one is in information systems and the second one in engineering. They are very good in the coding algorithm and then everything. However, they don't have the ability of the business. That's why they recruit me and then say, become our business analyst. What I want to say is, innovation is important. However, sometimes our financial team doesn't get it. In this part, there's a gap there. There is something missing that these financial people need to be understand. And those financial team need to understand not in the term of or the language we use in innovation, but the language they use. So we need to translate our innovations in the language that they understand, which is accounting language. So us as innovators, we have to know about payback period. We have to know about return on asset. We have also known about a what is that? Break-even point and another term. If you don't know that, you can team up with someone who knows the business. By translating our innovations to those language that they understand, it can shorten the journey. That's the first. The second one is the company, return to what Jack Ma always do in Alibaba actually, the company culture itself. When the culture from the leaders is actually a fast adaptation and innovation-based company, it means that culture needs to be translated down. It means those financial team has to understand that as well, that innovation is costly and innovation requires time. Creativity is absolutely out of that. Creativity is cheap and creativity is quick. However, innovation is another side. Innovation is costly. They have to understand that. So what can I say to those who are in corporate and trying to innovate something, pursue something? If you want to make them ensure them or make them convinced with your idea, you need to speak their language. And in this term, their language is financial language. Okay? Break down. This is what we do in Tidy Up. We break down. We require a lot of money. Every time we are going to our seed funding, pitching to the investor, we show them it's a very huge amount of money. However, we break it down. We break it down slowly in per year, per month, the income, the cost. If you see the massive cost, if you break it down per month, it will be smaller. And by translating it to them and they see a smaller amount of money, they tend to be easier for us to get the investment from them. So that's what I think that we can do, Mas Angga. It's either we learned about that or we recruit someone else as our collaborative to do that.
Thank you, Mbak Nia. Yeah, definitely agree with that one, because sometimes if only engineers who are in the teams, normally most of us are innocent ya Mbak ya, polos gitu ya. Sometimes it's not manipulative, but how we engineering the our innovation to be something interesting to other people who doesn't know about this. They only know about their language in the financial kind of things. So that's yeah, indeed it's very important for us to involve another team who can be a bridging for us to financial team, investor team, because the way of the investors or a financial team might be different. It's actually correlated, but yeah, there's something that sometimes engineering who is polos, innocent, yeah, they're sometimes worried if I'm doing or putting this number, am I confident to reach this one? If not, then they will the investor will how to say, it's like ngejar kita nih for the target for those kind of target. Yeah, but sometimes those target is sometimes illogical, but those the target that we have to do as the start that we have to get for our directions. Thank you, Bania.
Great. Thank you, Mas Angga.
Thank you, Mbak Nia. Maybe next to the question that I feel relates the most to the previous question, is the innovation always related to business and profit? Why people always expect that innovation produces money?
I like it. Because in the end we are talking about money. Sorry, this is stumble. No. So, agree or not, innovation is related to money. Indeed, we can say that. Agree or not, we need to live, and money is one of the massive needs of that. In terms of business itself, innovation is always related to the money, indeed, because they have employee to pay. However, in some case, I'm not really agree with that innovation, it doesn't need to be money. It doesn't need to produce money. For example, you don't need, when you focus to innovation only to the product, yes, indeed, it produces money. However, there's this kind of innovations that we also can innovate in the term of the service. For example, let me use BCA as the example. Okay, BCA has a very good innovation strategy in the customer service. They are the first banking industry in Indonesia that implement the customer service fully, 24 hours customer service, a fast response, and also so convenient to talk. That service doesn't get you money at all. That service doesn't bring you money to the company. They bring money to the company maybe in indirect way. So indeed, innovations, if you're talking about the product, yes, the product tends to be for money making. However, innovation is not only about money. There are a lot of innovation, for example, service innovations. It's not for money, but it's to increase the value of the company. It's also to improve the company service. And the one type of innovation that I really like the most is the type of social innovations. Social innovation is where us as the youngsters, we go to the suburb, village, or rural area, and then doing something, some innovations that actually can help them. It doesn't need, it's actually need the money from us to give them as the innovative, but it doesn't mean that we're not helping by innovations. Innovate also means that we help other people to increase their living status or quality. So my answer is yes or no. So yes, if you're talking about the product. No, if you're talking of the helping people or service.
Okay, thank you so much, Mbak Nia. One last question, maybe from Fauzan again. Is there a gap between research results and business implementation in society so that it cannot improve people's welfare?
Nice, Fauzan. Very detailed questions. However, this is very practical questions. Of course, the answer is yes. That's why. Of course, the answer is yes. However, the research and also the practice, most of the time, these two, because again, they speak different language, they're not connect to each other. What happened in the research and what happened in the practice always, sometimes on contrary. So they're going to the other side. That's what happened if we do the research, I do the research, but I'm not asking the community, I'm not asking the people, what do you need? And that mostly happening in Indonesia this last year, last several years, not now maybe. When we do the research, especially us in academic, we do the research because we like the topic. What happened that when the research finished, it cannot be implemented because they don't need it, right? The research supposed to start with what do you need in the business, what in the market, what do you need in the society? What do I really like in the UK type of the research? They have one only scheme for the research. It's called impact scheme. Impact scheme mean the problem has to come from the community before you do the research. There's supposed to be a phenomenon happened. Not only what do you read and what do you like, but it has to be some problem happen and the problem become the research, and those research supposed to be directly implemented. It's different with us several years back in Indonesia. It doesn't need to be implemented. That's what happened with, we have a lot of research, but it doesn't implement it until now, because first, we're not answering the question they need. The second, we only do the research because we like it. It's not research for helping people. And the third one is because we don't have the scheme that actually the research need to be directly implemented. That's the most important one. And the UK and Europe have that scheme that all the research supposed to be directly implemented. That's why the research here is always so quickly to implement. So that's the gap, Fauzan.
Thank you so much, Mbak Nia, Fauzan. I hope that answered your question. Now, the Q&A session is finally done. But before we wrap up, we have a very exciting announcement. So, last week, Mbak, we held a bootcamp for the Indonesia Aerospace Hackathon. And in that bootcamp, there were top 10 participants who presents their innovative ideas. And now we're choosing the top 4 plus 1 special award for them to later on continue to be able to present their ideas for the international eyes, because they will be presenting live on stage in AFSET conference. Yay! Yay for them! Okay, now without further ado, we're going to proudly announce the top teams of the Indonesia Aerospace Hackathon 2025. We have the top 4 innovative groups plus 1 special award for the most innovative social impact. Without further ado, here are the winners. Congratulations to the top 4 teams of Hackathon 2025. The Manchara Labs, Entes and Lumajang, You Innovators, Verda Team, plus 1 winner for the special award for most innovative social impact, Space Lovers. A big congratulations to these brilliant innovators. Okay, so to the top. Congratulations. So for the top 4 teams, please prepare your best because you will be presenting live on stage to the AppSet conference on June 3rd, 2025 in Jakarta. The organizing committee will be in touch with you shortly to discuss more about the details, so please keep an eye on your email or WhatsApp. And to the rest of our top 10 finalists, we are so proud of your innovations. Keep going and continue to be the next generation innovators for space and technology in Indonesia. We would also be very honored for your future participation in maybe next year's Indonesia Aerospace Hackathon. Hey, congratulations once again. Okay, now, thank you once again to our speaker, Mbak Nia. Maybe to close today's session, Mbak Nia, could you please once again share a final message to all the participants?
With my pleasure. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you so much for everyone, especially Mas Angga and the teams for the having me today. what I want to say as the closing one is, everybody, I think us as the youngsters in Indonesia rely to us a lot to bring Indonesia more in high positions that we are right now. And how do we do it? By innovate. Innovations in this recent time will be more difficult, more challenges, a lot of disruptions happening. However, you need to remember, we need to remember, we are not alone. We here, we can collaborate to each other, that we can produce one innovations that not only for ourselves, our business, but also for other people. So guys, don't stop your business if you have the, don't stop your idea. If you have the idea, pitch it out to everybody, pitching it out to anyone, find collaborator, try to make your dream come true as in the old point. Okay, so good luck. I think in the next several years, we are going to see a lot of us here with a lot of achievements in other part, all part of the world. That's all from me, Tricia.
Thank you, Mbak Nia. Thank you once again to Mbak Nia Kurniati Bachtiar, our speaker in today's webinar. Thank you to ASI, thank you to Hackathon 2025, and also our top 10 finalists, and all of you who participated in today's webinar. So let today be a reminder that crisis is not the enemy of innovation. It is often the birthplace of it. Please don't forget to fill out the feedback form linked in the chat. Your insights will really help us for our future events. And on behalf of the organizing team, I'm Trisha, signing off. Stay safe, stay inspired, and keep innovating. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone. Bye Mbak Nia, terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih
Thank you.
banyak.
Terima kasih.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Trisha, Cindy, Nia.
Thank you very much.
Irfan, thank you. Fauzan, izin live ya.
Ya, makasih banyak Mbak. See you.
Makasih banyak, Mbak. See you.
Weekend.
Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend juga, Mbak.
Bye.